But yeah, he would some dude on this forum got me into like all kinds of music like that, and then like so for a long time I was mostly just about like rock and experimental rock,
Zombie Gauntlet
and shit like that.
Woo!
And then over time I just would find out about different bands either through osmosis or someone would do a review of it and I'd think it sounded interesting. Like I want to say that's how I got into.
Oh no, I can't see.
I want to say like we were promised jetpacks or something. It was like I read a random review, or like Silver Sun Pickups was because of Lazy Eye because the song was on the radio.
Yeah.
Shinsei Kamate. A lot of bands I got into because of anime openings. All the Japanese bands, you know, would be like something like Shinsei Kamate-chan, where it's so weird because they did one anime song for a show I didn't even watch more than one episode of, but like I loved the song so much that I immediately like sought out all of their music. Galnerius was funny because me and Boyd listened to them before they had put out any anime music. Like Boyd had known them just as like this cool fucking power metal band from Japan, and like when it was at the time when we had that whole trauma with Dragon Force.
Yes.
And like I found out about Galnerius and I was like, this completely replaces Dragon Force. They're like the same thing but better.
We had known about them for a while actually before then. So I remember just being like, well, I guess I still have Galnerius. Like, I guess they replaced Dragon Force.
I distinctly remember, like, getting into Galnerius and being like, cool, it's Japanese Dragon Force, I don't have to listen to Dragon Force. And then, like, they did the opening for Nemo Scene, like, not too long afterwards.
Oh, no.
Crowd in the mess of time, you must take your aim and play your game. Emotional vigilance is the price that you must pay for your desire.
Shit singing this. I feel
it's a
everyone, you know, it sounds a lot better.
That's how you have to sing that song. That's practically how it is.
Except it doesn't sound stupid.
Against the moon.
Except it doesn't sound like fucking Creed.
I like singing it that way. To forget the awful truth, you know the disturbance never ends.
The spooky Scully monsters in this game are my fucking favorite, man. I love the ghosts, I love the zombies, I love this dude. There's like goofy, creepy dudes. Look at me, it's cool.
Anyway, yeah, go listen to Alsatia by Galnerius. Great fucking song. If you can't spell Galnerius, Garu Nariusu.
Dude, not even fucking close.
Just look up the Nemo Scene. You know what? You won't be able to spell Nemo Scene either, because that's like a weird fucking hard to spell word. And Alsatia is probably not much easier. What's a word connected to this band that you can pronounce? Look up the second Hunter x Hunter ending theme, and you'll find the band name from that, which is Hunting for Your Dream.
Was that Galnerius, or was that just a dude from Galnerius?
That was Galnerius.
Okay.
Hunting for Your Dream was Galnerius. The opening theme was just a dude from Galnerius.
Yeah, okay.
But that's what their new singer. Alsatia was like the last singer with their original, or last single with their original singer, and then they changed. And kind of like the old guy had a more distinct voice, but the new guy has a better voice.
He has a pretty hilarious voice. At first I was like, what the fuck? The old guy's
voice is super fucking weird.
Yeah.
Take your balls and running hard with the falling of the night.
Alright, here we go. Their best song is Cause Disarray.
Cause Disarray,
that's my favorite fucking Galnerius.
That's the ending
song
theme
forever.
of the Nemo Scene.
So there you go. You can find Cause Disarray.
Yeah, Cause Disarray and Alsatia were like a split. It was like those two songs.
Yeah, they were together in a single.
Cool
fucking badass songs,
shit,
man.
Alsatia is probably my top. Alsatia, Burn My Heart.
Burn My Heart's pretty good.
The song that's what the lost was you was on my mind and they made what's this called?
That whole album's pretty good.
Yeah, Resurrection is my favorite album by them. Everything on that's great. And fucking Braving Flag from the old shit. We are on the Braving
Everything
Flag.
in Galnerius is like revenge, something about flags, you know, rebels, flags.
They have an album called like Struggle, or I don't remember if the song is Struggle for the Freedom Flag or the album, but they have an album where every song has a flag in the title, and then they also have flag in the title of songs on other albums.
Everything is brave, everything is heart, everything is flag.
Yeah. You fly through the sky, it's glorious.
I wouldn't be surprised if you could find a song called like Flaming Flag and then like like Brave Flag
Well, Braving Flag is the one I was just
Braving
singing.
Flag, Flaming Heart, Braving Heart, you know, all of the above.
I'm so sad I can't
Brave,
miss you in the
flaming
future.
shit, man. Everything is brave and flaming. Alright, let's shut the fuck up about Calnerius. I'm starting to get pissed off.
I was trying to remember what we were talking about. Musical evolution of taste. Yeah, that thing. That's what we were talking about.
Okay.
So, yeah, big into metal and all that shit at that time. And then...
Dude, wait, I can pick up this club.
Over time, I just kept getting into more and more different bands, you know, usually just from learning about them from a random single, a random video, someone downloads it and puts it on my computer. Brandon Tolentino and his musical taste was probably more influential for you than it was for me.
Mac DeMarco, the Growlers.
Yeah, you listen to a lot of, like, Trevor and Brandon core. That's what I consider that stuff. Like anything, Brandon's really
now
into
it's
jangle
really
music.
Just in my adulthood, there's almost nothing I've gotten into on my own. It's either you core, Hope core, or Brandon core.
Yeah, well, in your childhood too, there's like no bands you've ever.
I mean, that was all you, but now it's just a few
that
different
Himitsu
people.
EP was you.
No, that's Hope core.
Oh, did she find that?
Yeah, I told you that was Hope core.
I just thought you found that like while looking for random Japanese math rock shit.
Nah. She just sent it to me, and I was like, "Oh."
So then,
yes.
Like, you know, I was already into pretty experimental music by this point, but like, I got into hip hop in 2012 because Trevor sent me "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe," or he just posted it on Facebook, the Kendrick Lamar song "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe," and I listened to it and I was like, man, this is really cool. And I mean, it's not like I hadn't listened to any hip hop. I was really into Dialect, which is spelled Dalek, but with an accent mark. You cannot possibly search him because you're just gonna get Doctor Who Daleks. But look up what the fuck is that album called that I like so much? Abandoned Language. Abandoned Language was my favorite album by him. Most people know him for Negro Necro Necros, which is also good, but I like Abandoned Language more. It's one of my favorite albums. And so I was into some hip hop music, but like when I discovered Kendrick Lamar, that was like sort of opening the floodgates. And then I got into Anthony Fantano because people were like telling me about him in my comments, and like I found his review of that album of Good Kid, Mad City, and like I really agreed with it, and through him I got into a bunch of other hip hop shit like Chance the Rapper,
Anthony Fandango,
and Death Grips. And then I made like friends with some people who listen to that kind of shit, like Skywatcher, who's a big Fantano fan, and like he listens to a lot of that kind of music. So since then, Anthony Fantano and the music board on 4chan have been like my biggest places to go to find out about shit. I don't really go on Mew anymore because I found out about everything. Like I downloaded all their charts and I know all the like older music that they care about. So it's like really I'm kind of done with Mew, and they're boring. They're a shit board.
Wow.
But yeah, I learned a lot of music from Fantano and Mew, and what were you wowing about? Was that like
you called them
sarcastically?
Shit, like
okay.
an asshole. Wow,
yeah.
What an asshole.
So and now I just listen to basically everything. I don't think there's a single genre that
literally
I'm not
everything.
interested in.
Yeah, even Tear in Your Beer country music.
Okay, well.
You know, I'm sure
into
you
Tear
hate
Your
it,
Beer.
but I hate when people say they're into like anything and everything.
Well,
it's so obnoxious.
Okay, like I am not unconfident that there could be a Tear in Your Beer country song I could like. You know, I like plenty of music that's influenced by country music. I love Mark Lanigan, and he pretty clearly makes pretty country blues music, you know. I mean, not on his latest albums because they're like industrial pop records, but like he made a lot of country sounding music, and I've heard country songs I like. I've heard bluegrass songs I like. I'm sure it's possible for me to like a Tear in Your Beer country song. I just, for the most part, don't. But I mean, that's fair to say of any genre. There's no genre that I like most of the music in, except for maybe like doom metal / psychedelic rock. Like all those bands that all have witch in the title or grave. Any band with the word witch or the word grave in the title, you know exactly what they sound like.
Yeah.
Especially if they're just called witch or graveyard,
which are both great.
Or witch with a W, or I mean with a Y in the title.
The Witches.
Yeah, Graveyard's a pretty cool band. Witchcraft is a good band. The Witches sounds like that.
I've listened to them more.
Or with Electric and Wizard in the title.
Yes.
Because Electric Wizard, who's a band I like, got their... It's all based on like old like any band that tries to sound like early Black Sabbath music. They all pretty much sound the same, and it's the exact same, but it's all cool. Like it's always just like sweet riffs and like, you know,
cool
chill out
vocals. Yeah.
Pearls and Brass is like a more technical version of that. They're pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess that's the evolution of my musical taste, and the evolution of Victor's musical taste is he listens to what I put on his iPod and eventually likes it.
Well, I usually end up getting really into different things.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you'll get me into something that you just kind of heard, and then like I get way more into it.
Like White Denim is the perfect example of a band that like... I discovered White Denim because here's a good musical evolution that like works out as a chart, because I love how this happened. So I've been a big fan of Coheed and Cambria forever, and Coheed and Cambria was coming to the Norva, which is like our local concert venue, and they were coming with the bands Circa Survive and The Deer Hunter, and like I had heard of Circa Survive because I was a big fan of the sound of animals fighting, and the singer from that is from Circa Survive. And so, but I'd never listened to their music, and I'd never heard of the Deer Hunter at all. So, like, in preparation for this concert, I started listening to both of those bands a lot. And, like, Circa Survive's album, Blue Sky Noise, I do like a lot of the songs on it. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite albums, but, like, I don't like their other stuff, you know? Yeah. Especially the stuff since, which is even worse than the stuff before.
Wow.
But, like, yeah, it was a pretty okay album, and then I got, like, really into the Deer Hunter, and, like, it was funny because, you know, I saw them live, and, like, I only kinda knew their songs, but I was like, man, this is pretty cool. So then I end up becoming, like, a big fan of them, and it was kind of like, man, it's a shame I didn't see them when at the time that I was a huge fan, I had seen them beforehand, but, like, then the Deer Hunter was touring as an opening act for Manchester Orchestra and White Denim, both of whom I'd never heard of. Yeah. So once again, I start pre-gaming to listen to these bands, and like I kind of got into Manchester Orchestra like before seeing them. And it was funny because the Deer Hunter had just put out the Color Spectrum EPs, and like I didn't like them as much. I thought they were okay, but like they were going to play a bunch of stuff from that, and so it was like once again, I didn't really get to hear the songs I really wanted to hear, even now that I was into the band. And then, I saw Manchester Orchestra, and I was like, these guys seem pretty cool. So then I end up getting really into them after that show. And once again, like, the cycle continues. It's like, man, I wish I had seen them, after getting into them. And then they've gone on to put out an album I don't really like, which is Cope. So, like, if I do see them live, they're probably going to play a bunch of shit from Cope that I'm not going to like. It's like this endless cycle of getting into bands at just the wrong time, But, I had told Victor about White Denim, who I didn't really get into, but he totally did, and, like, became, like, super hardcore into them. And, Ling Toshite Segure, like...
Yeah. It's like a couple songs we were just listening to on YouTube that I was just like... Fuck yeah!
It was funny because, like, I got into them from the Psychopaths opening, and I just, like, wanted to check out what the rest of their music sounded like, and it all sounded pretty consistently cool, and I was like, this isn't super my style, but I think Victor's gonna like this, and I played him, like, one song, and Victor was like, this is the best band ever, and, downloaded
I was skeptical at first, because I'd heard the Psychopaths opening, and so I'm going through on YouTube, I'm like, that's alright, and then I was like, that was pretty okay.
It was within a couple songs, though, that you were like, download their whole discography.
This is okay.
It was probably the quickest I've seen you get into a band.
Definitely.
Because usually what happens is that I'll start listening to something a lot, and I'll tell Victor about it, and he will not have any interest whatsoever.
Oh, shit.
And then later on... he'll hear it more, and he'll, care about it.
No,
like Clarence Clarity.
She's done.
When I discovered Clarence Clarity's album, like, I was fucking, like, singing about it, like, singing the praises, being like, everyone needs to listen to this, and everyone was just like, I don't know, man. I don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I kept playing it for people and no one would respond to it, and I was just like, whatever. And then, like, months later, Victor's like, yeah, listen to that.
Because I feel like you were playing the wrong songs, and it was really when you first showed me the music video where I was like, oh.
Right. I thought I
like
showed it to you early on,
I got
though.
what it was.
In fact, yeah, because I had posted the music video on, like, everyone's wall on Facebook because I thought that was the best way to first experience it, but no one fucking watched it. So that was the issue. You had to move the statue into place.
No. I lost the girl.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go get her.
No.
She's gonna be in that cage. But yeah. So eventually, I'll get Victor into music, and there's plenty of bands that like he hated for years that I was into, like ISIS.
Yeah,
because
ISIS and the Mars Volta, because I just didn't have a good experience.
Well, I would play them all the time while Victor was playing video games, and the way you phrased it to me was that because you were really into Dragon Force, and you were like, when I listen to Dragon Force, I imagine like epic battles and cool shit, and when I listen to this, all I imagine is blackness. That was how you described why you didn't like those bands, and then later on, became a big fan, and now Francis the Mute's like your favorite album of all time.
Yes.
You know, where were you in
circle.
2005 through 2009 when I was super into it, you know, and you weren't at all. You're probably more into Comus than I am, although we both love that album.
Kicked ass.
That album's fucking great.
And that Black album
Right, the sunlight, summer day, Comus waits,
he
starts to play.
Bands
I'm super into Black.
That nobody got me into, and it's just like there aren't any.
Not a single one, not a single band that you ever just like heard the song on the radio and went, I gotta listen to that.
I can go through my phone, let's see.
You're not into AWOL Nation? I fucking made that joke about making an AWOL Nation AMV to this game, and people sent me like three.
Some stuff that our mom was into, like the Smiths and
Jane's Addiction.
Yeah, we both of Mom.
That was sort of like
Red Hot Chili Peppers was kind of from our childhood.
Yeah, my dad was always into Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, my mom was always into the Smiths and Jane's Addiction, and we just didn't know, like, that it was good growing up. And then it was, like, 2011, we suddenly rediscovered all of my mom's music, and we're like, this shit's awesome! Jane's Addiction and the Smiths are awesome!
I don't think I got into Dao Code through you.
Yeah, you did.
No, because I had just kind of seen that video.
I gave you all the albums. I put them on your computer.
But I was listening to them on YouTube before I had the albums.
I'm pretty sure I showed you Daoko because it was she did the Me song, and then I like looked up all these songs and shared them with you because I was talking to
yeah, maybe you did. Maybe you liked one of them on YouTube, and that's how I started watching them.
Yeah, I definitely showed.
I started watching the videos way before I had the albums.
Yeah. So did I.
Iron Maiden. Did you get into Iron Maiden?
I don't think. I mean, we sort of got into them through Mom getting the compilation album, the Ed Hunter compilation.
That's right.
But I'd say you got more into them than I ever did.
I got into Suzuki Hiraduki on my own.
Oh yeah, Susumu Hirasawa. There you go. You watched Paprika and realized that he was amazing.
Yeah.
All right, next time on Digi Bros.
Susumu Hirasawa is the only artist I got into on my own.
Next time on Digi Bros, less of this topic.
Oh, here's one. Wait a minute.
Wait, we ended the episode.
No, welcome back to Digi Bros.
You're just standing on screen. You're checking your phone. Hurry up. Just name the band, and we'll end the episode.
Moon Honey.
Oh yeah, Moon Honey. Yeah, that was from KEXP. Fucking. All right, next time on Digi Bros. Jesus Christ.